Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press Hangouts. I'm your host, Diego Crespo. This month, we're talking about the most underrated movies of 2019 to celebrate the 2019 Oscars. Is it technically referred to as 2020 Oscars or 2019 Oscars?
I think it's the 2020 Oscars.
Okay, that makes no sense to me, but
yeah.
That's my co-host, Gina Versa.
Hey.
Are you excited about the Oscars? We're recording this before the Oscars, and this will come out for the public after the Oscars, but it'll be on Patreon during the Oscars. So, are you excited?
I don't know. I have the dread of watching it. I feel like keep watching it or something. Like, it's like the negative part of me is going to say, like, oh, Joker's going to win Best Picture.
You know what? I got a good feeling about Jojo Rabbit or Parasite, actually, though.
I hope so. I feel like 1917.
Oh, 1917. I think it almost has the momentum. The problem is it doesn't have a big name actor, and so it doesn't have that kind of thing.
Right.
And we're gonna talk about most underrated movies, and I wouldn't even say 1917 is underrated because it's like a big hit. But I didn't get to watch it before the year ended last year, and I think it's a great film.
Oh yeah, that was like the last movie. That was ironic. That was the last movie I watched of 2019.
It's a good one to end on.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. The one shot. I know people say it's like just a gimmick. Thought it was very like propulsive, and it made it feel like almost like this mythic Lord of the Rings style journey through like the landscape of war and hell. And I don't know. I found it very moving. I know people thought it was very cold and distant, but I did not feel that at all. I just wanted to shout out that movie because I really liked it. And in terms of like best picture frontrunners, it could do a lot worse than this year. I think Joker's like the one where I'm like, really? You're really committed to that, huh?
I guess we're anti-Joker, I guess.
And again, I don't even hate Joker.
I don't even think we're anti. We're just like a meh Joker.
Yeah, I'm like, you could have given that to like a real director, and they could have made something out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think. Well, on a bad day, like if you catch me on like a Monday in the afternoon, like after work, I'll be like, oh, I hate Joker.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it didn't work for me.
But when I'm at a good mood, I'm just like, it just didn't work for me at all. Like nothing really clicked for me, and I'm like, I don't get like what the hype, what the excitement and the profoundness of this movie. Like I don't think it's really like culturally important to give it all this praise, you know? Like I don't think it's really. It's saying something, but I don't think it's articulating it well. It's presenting it well. You know, it's just such a. I don't want to use the word like try hard because I feel like that's really.
Everyone tries hard making a movie.
Yeah, everyone tries hard. That's very mean spirited.
Yeah.
Because that certainly wasn't it. It's just a very misguided movie. I felt, and just just the. I mean, obviously the controversy around it that was blown out of proportion. Like you don't want to wish that on any movie or whatever, but just the following around this movie. I mean, it's cool if you like it, but if you present it to be like this holy grail of like films 2019, I'm like, maybe just slow your roll a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
I mean that's not mean to say or anything.
Yeah.
I hope not.
I guess because art is subjective. And, like whatever, that's fine. Before we move on, the subjects for today's episode, by the way, are newly released Birds of Prey, which we were very excited about here at this podcast, and the most underrated films. So the first half will be Birds of Prey, second half will be most underrated films of 2019. But Gene, last bit on the Oscar talk then, so we don't spend too much time on it. Who's your frontrunner? Like, who do you want to walk away with the gold?
Probably 1917, to be honest.
Okay.
And then I wish Gritty was hosting it.
Gritty presenting, even though he may or may not have punched a child.
Well, no, okay.
No,
Stop right there. Okay. The actor in the Gritty costume punched him. The 13-year-old who was harassing Gritty.
Yes, but the headline sounds better.
You're right.
So you're right. You're right. You're totally right.
If anything, the actor should, maybe put on probation or something worked out. But that kid was harassing Gritty.
Gritty innocent is what.
Gritty's innocent, yeah.
For me, Parasite. If Parasite wins, that would be just unbelievable. It's terrific. We haven't talked enough about it on the show, but it's every bit as good as you've heard. Pretty good lineup this year. I would be actually very surprised if Joker won. I just don't see that happening at this point.
I feel like I have like a bad feeling.
I don't think the momentum's behind it anymore.
Right.
I think the momentum dies the further we get away from it, honestly.
Yeah, Todd Phillips just keeps talking in interviews how he hates everything and everyone.
Oh, Todd Phillips is the problem with Joe. That, honest to God, that's a problem with that movie.
The
director.
I think the problem with him, he's just a very negative guy.
He's just clearly like an idiot. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Like
he's a bit of a dunce.
He needs to like maybe just have like a hit of weed or like something to just chill out. Because he's always just like, he runs with like an uncle at like Thanksgiving. He's like, oh, I'll tell you what's wrong with the world, and you think he's gonna say something really profound, like, you're saying stuff about the country is like founded on racism. Like, then he'll say like, well, the media, they're the ones saying like the liberal media. I'm like, oh, okay, you have like nothing to say.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like Todd Cruise is like your like drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. Like, just go to the other room.
That's kind of my problem with Joker. It says a lot, and it's like, it could totally stick the landing if you change parts of the ending. Yeah. But then it literally just has Joker say, like, you can't say anything funny anymore. And I'm like, oh, so he's just doing this bullshit. Anyways.
I feel like Todd Phillips is totally libertarian, right?
I don't know.
I feel like he is.
I don't know. I don't want to make judgments on that. But Vince Vaughn is a conservative, so who knows. But speaking of clowns, Birds of Prey, Kathy Yon's feature... she's not a feature debut. Big studio debut, who had written and directed the feature film Dead Pigs that got a huge Sundance like praise and approval back in like 2018, and they still haven't released it. I've heard it's very good. A bunch of people that saw it have told me that it's totally my type of movie. Would love to see it one day. But anyways, she made Birds of Prey because Margot Robbie saw that and was like, I want that woman to do the Harley Quinn movie and the Birds of Prey movie. And so we catch up years after Suicide Squad. The Joker and Harley have broken up. Gene, initial impressions on Birds of Prey?
Oh, I was really impressed. I had a really like fun time watching it. I was thinking, like, I mean, besides like Harley trying to prove herself, like, it's crazy that like one of her motivations is just to get like an egg sandwich. Like, I love the scene with spoilers.
Yeah, full spoilers. But first, you know what? Hold off on spoilers. Just impressions. Quick impressions, spoiler free.
I was really enthralled with it. It's a very very well made movie. It has so many like fun things, fun elements of it. It gets besides one character, I kind of disagreed with how they handled it. I felt like they got every single character from the comics so accurately. Like, it was the most accurate version of like Black Canary that I've seen, more so than Arrow.
Huntress.
More so than Arrow
and Huntress.
Her getting to have her own spin as Harley is great, and then kind of getting shadowed by like a male gaze too, as well.
There's a clear difference in the presentation.
It's like the way she's portrayed in like Suicide Squad, not the best. And I loved a lot of things, and it felt like the Gotham. I feel like this is, I don't know, I don't want to sound hyperbole, like the best depiction of Gotham I've probably seen in film, actually, because I love the Nolan ones, but the Nolan ones is just Chicago. Mm-hmm. It's just like Chicago, but with like neo-noir aspects.
It's Batman Begins has a little flair to it. Yeah. And then after that, it definitely is just Chicago. Yeah. And it works for those movies.
It does.
For the modern,
not dissing Nolan, I love Nolan.
Yeah, of course. For modern live action, this is the best since the Schumacher and Burton ones.
I would say better than Schumacher because it's like,
well, I like the Schumacher designs. The problem is how the movie uses them.
Yeah.
This one, it feels like alive again in a way that it hasn't since the 90s.
Yeah, it just really feels alive, and like all the little like stores and like places, alleys that you go. Like there's like criminals, or like there's like a restaurant owner that knows everyone, and like it feels really lived in. Mm-hmm. So I was really happy. It felt like out of like a Scott Snyder comic book, or maybe Frank Miller.
It's
like someone.
I think there's probably some inspiration there, but I was really taken back by just how like of its own it felt. Yeah. Even like putting aside like inspiration of like the comic characters. And like, because I think they retain the heart of the characters a lot of the times, and not for everyone. And I'm actually okay with that because like this is a pro Batman Returns podcast as well. Yeah, I love Batman. And that movie is very not accurate to comics, but it's also like one of my favorite movies ever.
Right, but I feel like that it's not being obnoxious about it. Like Tim Burton will like kind of say like, oh, I didn't really read too many comic books.
Yeah, but like just even on its own terms, like I think it does it well, and I think here it does it well too.
Yeah.
Because like Zaz is like occupies a different capacity here than he does in other iterations. But needless to say, before we go, when we talk about these movies, we're going to talk about full spoilers because that's the only way to talk about some of these. We're both big fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a runaway like slam dunk for me, but God, I had the time of my life watching it, and I have now seen it twice, and I did not expect that. So, spoilers from here on out for the rest of the episode. Birds of Prey. Would have liked Black Mass to stuck around, but what a terrific villain!
Yeah, he was great. He blew away. He got blown away.
Yeah. I tweeted out like my initial thought when I first saw the movie. Like, there's a kill that just made me like gleeful, and the Black Mask explosion was just like. It felt like it was made for me. That was extremely satisfying.
Yeah.
I just really quick I want to say that I think Black Mask, why he's such a great villain, is because everything he does is kind of like you could see he's as insecure as Harley, and everything he's doing is like just a facade. Like he keeps having to put on a mask even before he puts on the Black Mask, which we'll talk a little bit about later, because that may or may not have been clearly reshot.
Yeah.
And I think the movie even makes it work. It's just like you can kind of tell the difference. But like everything he's doing, he's just trying to gain like control over people, like in some sort of physical sense. And when he can't, that's when he'll like blow up at someone. And so it's like, I don't know. I really liked that villain, and I really liked Chris Messina as his henchman Zaz.
Yeah, Zaz. Yeah. Great. That's a great pairing. I love people I don't know, Batman films because they have so many villains. I like, for every like bad pairing, you have like Two-Face and Riddler. Like there's sometimes I really like it for these last couple movies recently, like Scarecrow and like Ra's al Ghul. Like his villains really mesh well together. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Bane and Talia.
Bane and Talia. Oh, well, I'm not even like a hater of that. I just don't think Talia works.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, like I think Black Mask, because I'm a big Batman fan, obviously. He's such an underrated villain and underused villain in media, where he's such an interesting villain because he's kind of like Hush, but not really. Where he's an inverse on Bruce Wayne, where he comes from a rich upbringing, but he's just selfish and he's just this black hole of like consumption. And yeah, just the aesthetic of his character is like great, and like just the way he's been used in comics, because it's like he's not insane really.
Yeah, no,
he's just an awful person. Like he's just like he doesn't really care about like Batman. He just like wants to control Gotham and like rule all the mobs and everything. Like he just wants to control him. Like he's such a practical villain in a sense, and just like his capacity to like do like all these evil things. Like, oh man, that guy's son of a bitch,
Yeah, he reminds me of the Purple Man from Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Like it's very. I mean, he doesn't have powers, but that sense of like needing to control other people's like autonomy.
Right.
I thought was something I didn't expect this movie to have. I was like, oh yeah, Ewan McGregor's great. He's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But there's like a genuine like pathos to that villain.
Right. And I was surprised that like Black Mask seemed like the perfect Nolan villain.
Yeah, and he never
showed up. Yeah. And like they just had Bane.
Yeah, Bane. I mean, hey, the Bane stuff in Dark Knight Rises I think is actually very good. But that's another conversation for another time. Check out the retrospective. But of course, this is the movie for Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn. 5 leading ladies, terrific actresses all around. Rosie Perez as the Question is like a genius bit of casting.
She's still
Renee Montoya. Okay, but her superhero identity is the Question. Renee Montoya.
Because she doesn't really become like, well, she's a vigilante, but she's
just a vigilante.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
She never takes like the Question.
No.
Maybe we could see that.
I mean, maybe, but like the movie is not even like confronting that,
Yeah,
so,
and it's
like,
cool that like it's accurate, and where in the comics she's like one of the first like openly gay characters. So it was cool that it wasn't like it wasn't something like Solo where it's like Lando's pansexual, but it doesn't really play a factor in any of the movie. It was like present in Birds of Prey, or like sexuality. I'm like I'm glad that they included that.
Did they? Did I miss that?
Ali Wong's her girlfriend. She mentions it a few times.
Oh, really?
I
completely missed that. I just knew that they were like close. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Because Harley says in the narration like that was her ex.
Oh, I misunderstood that as the captain's ex.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's cool. I like that. And Ali Wong is great, and I wish she had bigger roles and stuff, but it's cool to see her here. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, of course, gets like the big spotlight in this. What did you think about that? Because there is just, I want to touch on this. There's some, for the diehard comics fans, not that this is even like an important qualm, but I think it's one worth bringing up, that some people were a little hesitant because it's a Harley Quinn movie with the Birds of Prey rather than Birds of Prey. What is your takeaway on that as the number one Batman fan?
The thing, it says like Harley Quinn, it says Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. So it's like, it's like a team up book, if you will. I felt that was certainly fine, and like it's not like they're not featuring the Birds of Prey. They're pretty prominent. It's like this is like the origin of the Birds of Prey. Like it's a spin-off, of Harley Quinn. I felt that was fine because they do that a lot in comics, and it showed them in their origins, and they showed them in costumes at the end. I thought it was fine. Wish we got to see like Oracle or someone.
Yeah,
would have been nice. But no, I think it worked. I think that it was like a cool like team up book or something.
Yeah, it worked for me better the second time. The first time, I really liked the movie a lot. I liked it more the second time, and I still partly wish like if there's another Birds of Prey movie, which tragically does not look so hot right now. We'll see. Hopefully it has legs because word of mouth is really good for this.
Yeah.
But I would like it without Harley Quinn, just because I like the characters just like enough when they're hanging out with each other too.
Yeah.
Like it takes a minute for the movie to get going for me. I think that's like a genuine kind of issue the movie has, and it's intentional. But I think something about the way it's strung together as Harley's like telling the story, I still think it's a little too touch and go in terms of pacing. Which again, it is intentional. So maybe someone else feels different. But as the flashbacks are structured, as we're like learning new information about like what's going on in Gotham, and how people are reacting to Harley Quinn no longer being with the Joker, the bounties going around. There's a lot of like talk about it being like a kind of Reservoir Dogs-y structure, which I can kind of see happening.
Movie.
Yeah, it's a little Tarantino-y. Some people reference Deadpool when this was first like getting the press screenings, and I was like, oh no.
I mean,
this is better than
like,
both
it's
Deadpools
fragmented for sure. For me. Like Deadpool, yeah. But like I don't know, very abstract. I guess like Deadpool for sure.
Yeah. It's I think this is a stronger movie than either Deadpool movie. But
I like Deadpool too.
I like both Deadpools. Yeah. I'm just saying, like I think this is a much better movie than both of them.
What about Once Upon a Deadpool?
I'm not watching that.
I'm not watching that.
I get it,
Okay.
I've seen Princess Bride. It's a great film.
It's like
great film.
I've seen Taxi Driver. I don't need to see Joker.
Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. You're good after that.
I was so like, oh man, I was really disappointed though. I mean, hopefully word of mouth, but like the box office, like I don't know, Harley Quinn is such a good selling point. Like I don't know why it's not attracting people. If it had Joker dancing down a flight of stairs to a terrible rock song, maybe like more people would have. Oh, it's amazing.
No, I just think this movie is clearly not going for prestige, and Joker's like, look at this is a serious movie.
Look at how he's dancing.
And this movie is about a bunch of women who are like really fucked up, dealing with like serious shit, but it's also like a fun romp of like it's just a fun romp of a movie, like it's vile, it's kind of sleazy, people are spitting blood through their teeth at times, there's horrific violence, it's treated like uncannily, and
there's a lot of humor to it.
It's a really funny movie.
Was it like Huntress, like keep getting her name wrong?
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the characters then. Who stands out from the Birds of Prey for you the most? MVP?
I think probably Huntress.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, great actress who hasn't really had a chance to shine in a lot of projects. Everyone knows she's great, but she doesn't have like a big role yet, and I think this one could be it.
Yeah, I hope so.
I really liked her. Her whole thing is that she was trained like as an assassin from like childhood to get revenge, and it's like, oh, there's a cool badass backstory, but then you meet her as an adult, and it's like, oh, she doesn't know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's never like the characters don't have a moment where they explain that to the audience. It's just as is. Yeah. And I was just like, oh my god, it's like a real movie. This is awesome. It's letting its story speak for itself. It's so great. My favorite is actually, as much as I love Rosie Perez, Black Canary.
Yeah.
Journey Smollett Bell as Black Canary. I really fell in love with that character. I've always liked Black Canary. Arrow, the series, even though I have a soft spot for it, has never really found its niche with that character.
There's like 4 different Black Canaries?
There are 4, technically, yeah in total.
Like White Canary.
No, there's 5.
There's 5?
One of them is a villain at some point. It's a long story.
Why is there so many Black Canaries? And then they're all like...
Because Sarah Lance, who went over to Legends of Tomorrow, which is a great series... is the White Canary now.
Is she supposed to be like the Dina Drake Canary? She's like the original.
Dina Drake is the
Dina Drake, excuse me.
Or Dina.
Yeah,
I've heard it said both ways.
Yeah.
She is the current Black Canary. Okay. I haven't finished the last season.
I'm sorry. I like Arrow enough, but it's kind of ridiculous.
Oh no, it's totally ridiculous.
It really.
It's at its best when it leans into the ridiculous.
Yeah, but they really mishandled that character.
Oh, I agree with that too. Yeah. And the one they get right, they ship off to another show. So it's just a little funny. But yeah, no, here she's terrific. It's like there's a really great like emotional core to the character where she's like surrounded in a world where it's harder to do good, and how that's like destroying her like as a human being. You know?
Yeah.
That was really terrific stuff. And just like the actress Journey Smollett Bell, her charisma is just like insane. You know, like oh my god, she could headline a Black Canary movie easy.
Yeah, I hope so. Put her in like Justice League.
Fuck yeah, man.
They got a lot of aspects of that character so right with like the motorcycle and all the classic cars, and you finally see the canary cry.
Oh yeah, the canary cry was cool.
That's great.
Yeah, I saw it with my friend who's a huge Black Canary fan. So like, they left on like cloud 9. Yeah, she's the shit in this movie. I just wanted more of the characters like just hanging out. Like I'm glad the movie does not overstay its welcome. Not that it was ever like in like dire need of not doing that. I'm just saying like it has like the perfect runtime. It is not trying to be like some epic saga. It's clearly like just like these characters meeting for the first time and going on like some weird like story of almost like a one of self-discovery, learning who they are like together and apart. Which is why I think my problem with the ending is that Cassandra Cain's character, who I don't care that she's different from the comics. I know I've seen some criticism about that already. I could not care less. My thing is that Harley's journey is one of like discovering her own self-identity, like apart from the Joker, and like separating from codependency. But then she just picks up a kid and does the same thing. So I don't feel like that's the right ending for that character here. Maybe someone else could like convince me otherwise. I'm open to more conversations about it. I just don't feel it. What did you think?
I just kind of didn't like how they handled Cassandra Cain, because it's just kind of like Harley's like apprentice. I don't know, because I felt like she doesn't need to be like totally comic accurate, but she just kind of became like, I don't know, like what's his name, Shatterfist in Deadpool 2. Shatterstar, like no, the kid character in Deadpool 2.
Oh, I don't remember the character.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
No one remembers Deadpool 2.
Right, kind of became like that, where it's just like just this like vehicle for Harley almost. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind like not being comic accurate. I just felt like she was kind of mishandled.
Yeah, I think. Again, I'll just say I think the ending is what really. It doesn't even like botch it. I just like. It doesn't culminate in anything, and it's not anticlimactic for a purpose, other than, like, they're going to go off and have more adventures together. But that doesn't, like, that's not the story they were telling throughout this, so I feel odd about it. And the other characters are so, I found their resolution so satisfying and, like, emotionally fulfilling that watching them just kind of, like, shoot the shit the morning after this crazy night together was, like, really just I felt elated. I was like, wow, this is terrific stuff. Like this might be like I might put this above Wonder Woman, honestly. Like I was enjoying it that much. And then the ending kind of doesn't deflate me. I just don't think it capitalized on that.
Yeah, I would agree.
I guess. I don't know. I mean,
it's kind of didn't stick the landing as well.
Yeah, it's like, here, it's like they got the landing, they do the flip, they're on their feet, and they kind of like stumble a little bit. And it's like, okay, you landed. I saw you land, so we're cool. And that was a terrific experience, but you stumbled at the end there. And so I guess this is I don't like doing this, but like this is kind of a situation where it's like, okay, the next time we see Harley Quinn now, I need to know how they're going to handle that relationship then, because she is in Suicide Squad 2, James Gunn's Suicide Squad 2 for next year, 2021. So the relationship with Cassandra Cain, to me, because it's still like a codependency thing, is like, that's a negative ending for me. Yeah. If the movie knows or understands that it is negative and it's going to have a bad effect on the kid, then I'm cool with it, because at least it understands that, you know? Yeah. If it's like, oh, isn't that a great, like, isn't this a happy ending? Then I'm gonna be concerned.
Right. Yeah. But, we'll see.
I don't know. But I really had the time of my life watching it. Yeah. Regardless, other highlights. Cinematographer Matthew Libatique, who recently shot both Venom and A Star Is Born in the same year. Yeah. What a career.
Yeah. What beautiful looking movies.
Yeah. Yeah. The hit film Venom, which won Best Cinematography at the 2018 Oscars, right? Yeah, that's definitely true to the real world circumstances. He's also shot a bunch of Darren Aronofsky stuff. I'm a big fan of his, and I think the movie looks great. Good use of like color. It's a very like colorful film, very poppy. Some people brought this up that are much smarter than me. They said it reminded them of like a classier Tank Girl. Yeah, I like Tank Girl. I don't know. I know that was not beloved when it came out. I don't know how people feel about it.
It was ahead of its time.
Clearly because Margot Robbie's also producing a Tank Girl remake.
There you go.
So maybe she just likes like this chaotic energy, you know? Maybe that's the thing. Other highlights of Birds of Prey before we wrap up this section.
Egg sandwich scene.
Egg sandwich. Oh yeah, here.
It's like the best food porn scene in all of film I've seen. Never wanted an egg sandwich more. After seeing Birds of Prey. Do you want me to cook you one right now?
I would like one. I like egg sandwiches right now.
We'll do a break and then I'll
but really quick, I remember seeing that like on Twitter, like in a little like, here's a quick trailer, right? And I was like, oh, it's like a tie-in for food, and I was like,
Burger King.
Like, yeah, and I presumed that. I was like, oh, that's the only reason that's there. And then the trailer never says anything about that, so I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I saw it in the movie, and I was like, oh, no, that's hilarious. She just really likes egg sandwiches. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that's what Birds of Prey succeeds so successfully, what the fuck? That's what it's so successful at. It's bringing out, like, this very, like, tangible humanity to these very, like, heightened, ridiculous characters. Yeah. With, like, very real struggles. Like, Renee Montoya's, like, a hard alcoholic in this. Black Canary is just like really fucked up and is trying to not have to do the right thing even. Like Huntress is learning to like be a human being again. Yeah. And obviously Harley Quinn's trying to learn how to live by herself. But it also has time for these people to shoot the shit and like just crave an egg sandwich for an hour and a half. Because the movie's only like an hour and 40 minutes long.
Something like that, yeah.
It was great runtime. More movies should have a slower runtime. Yeah. I promise you, not all movies need to be 3 hours long. Some I'm happy about, but others not so much. Birds of Prey, recommend it. Strong pro Birds of Prey podcast episode, I would say.
Yeah, same.
We're going to take a break. Gene's going to make some egg sandwiches, and we'll be right back.
What a way to start my new life. The perfect egg sandwich. Not too much, Sal. I want to taste that cheese. It's time for Gotham to meet the new Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. Rated R.
And we're back. Some quick tweets from people's reactions to Birds of Prey at JacobKnight_JK. Birds of Prey needed more Huntress and Black Canary, and I think I actually agree that it probably could have used a little more Huntress. Yeah. She kind of gets the least amount of time out of the 5 leads. Mm-hmm. And Black Canary, I just want more of her because she's the standout for me. Yeah. And at Mitch Gosser, the kind of film I hoped would come out post-Deadpool but didn't think actually would. They did cast dirty, though. Mitch, I know he's a big comic book fan, so I understand the sentiment for sure. I'm not going to quibble, but I understand.
Yeah, Mitch has good comic takes.
Mitch has good comic takes, yes.
Comic book takes.
Follow Mitch.
Mitch, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, Mitch is a good boy. He's a good lad. Also good are some underrated films of 2019, Gene. We got a lot of them because even though this is not like the worst lineup of Oscar history, there are some where you're like, really, you didn't nominate Uncut Gems or Adam Sandler's performance? Yeah. You sure? And that one I feel like is kind of underrated, just like outside of film group circles. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, in film circles, we all understand that it's the shit, but like,
well, it made a lot of money, right?
It's
the most profitable A24.
Almost, I think it either is about to be, or it is already. But I'm gonna read some responses to our Twitter post for the most underrated movies of 2019. At MD Adja, friend of the show, said Dark Waters and Beanpole. I do not know Beanpole, but Dark Waters, I believe, was the Todd Haynes film.
Okay.
Right? No?
I think so.
No, with Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's very depressing and sad and serious.
Yeah, it's a follow-up to, I believe, Wonderstruck and Carol, which are both very good movies. Carol is the shit. It's one of the best movies of the decade. I have not seen Beanpole, though, so I apologize for that. At our Instagram, The Lighthouse, which we are big fans of here on the show as well, nominated for Best Cinematography, which I actually didn't know, and that's like fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know.
It deserves it.
Yeah.
But like, I was just like, oh, you got that weird, but you didn't get Uncut Gems? Can't just take Joaquin Phoenix out? Sorry, he's one of the best living actors.
No Oscars for The Sandman?
He's one of the best living actors, but like that is...
Yeah. He was robbed, Adam Sandler.
Yeah, he really was. Sandman. He really was robbed.
Now he's gonna do shitty Netflix movies like that.
We deserve it. We deserve it.
It's our fault.
Yeah. But Gene and I were talking when we were setting up the show for the most underrated films. We were trying to look for stuff that was less film circle underrated, more just like in real world underrated. Like if I brought up Ad Astra, most people on the planet are not going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I think Ad Astra is one of the most underrated films of 2019. Terrific Brad Pitt performance. Very empathetic film that's intentionally cold and distant because it's about showing why being cold and distant and like logically quote unquote calculated is like damaging to humanity. Yeah. You know, and like how embracing each other is the most powerful, beautiful thing you can do. Yeah. And especially in dark times. And those are the movies. What's the most underrated film of 2019 for you, Gene?
Well, I recently rewatched it, Dr. Sleep. And I don't know why no one saw it, because everyone saw every single other Stephen King movie this year. Like It Chapter 2, which wasn't that great. Or
It Chapter 2 is an awful film, but to be fair, it made like $300 million less than the first film. It was a disappointment financially.
And then was it Castle Rock? I don't know if that's good. But people like that.
Yeah, people seem to like it.
What was the other Stephen King? Like In the Tall Grass?
There was In the Tall Grass, which is not great. Yeah.
Another one.
What was it? There was another one. What was it? Oh my god.
Yeah. Like everyone was like, okay, that Shining sequel, I'll skip that. I'll watch like It again. It Chapter 2 again when they cancel it. That's a great. I'm gonna just watch that again or watch Castle Rock. No one saw Dr. Sleep and I didn't get it.
I don't get it either.
This movie's great. I love it. It's a very like it's such a weird movie where it's like this love child of like Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick. Two people like. Do I think hate each other or like don't like each other?
I think they just disagreed with the thesis of it, and I guess you want to talk a little bit about why.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, okay, Stanley Kubrick made amazing films, and Stephen King directed Maximum Overdrive.
No, that's not why.
Like, I wonder who's right.
No, I think in their own way they're both right. They just can't concede it. So Stephen King wrote The Shining when he was like coming out of like his like hard. Like abuse days, like with alcohol and drugs, and so he is Jack Torrance. He's the character overcoming his own demons in the book
without the ghosts.
Yeah,
with the ghosts.
Either way, it's a story about himself, and so he wants to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And what Stanley Kubrick's saying, like, okay, that's fine, but like in this version, Jack Torrance, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. He doesn't even know he's in the tunnel. That's just who he is. Yeah, and the ghosts make him much worse. You know, like. Some people are assholes before they become alcoholics. Yeah. And it's a sad story, and he found the terror in the tragedy too. Yeah. And Stephen King couldn't like reconcile.
Kind of like Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Kind of,
He's like a bad person, then he just becomes worse.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. And like you can argue and debate all the live long day, whichever's more interesting. Both exist now. Yeah. And some fucking how genius horror genre filmmaker Mike Flanagan found a way to marry the two.
Because he has the original ending from the book, pretty much verbatim. That was cool. I like the book enough, but I don't know. I just kind of lean more towards Kubrick.
I mean, I prefer the film as well. But like,
yeah, and it was good that I was glad that they kind of recasted Jack and Wendy instead of like doing a weird CGI face thing.
Yeah,
like, I'm good for them. Good for Mike Flanagan.
I'm cool with that too
because it worked. Unless like they were gonna get Jack Nicholson,
like what
back, like come out of retirement, like just play Jack again.
For me, I thought it was cool too because it's like they're dressed up like the ones we remember from the film.
Yeah.
But they look different enough, and it's like, so it's kind of, if you want to get all meta with it, it's like that's Danny's interpretation of his memories. Mm-hmm. It does lose me a little bit at the end where it's like, now it is just that bit of The Shining.
Yeah.
But then it brings back home again, so I'm cool.
Did we ever talk about did we talk about Dr. Sleep and then how we all like, Rose the Hat, like just like eat my soul?
Yeah, Rose the Hat is the hottest villain like in movie history. It's like not to get all like just broy, but like it's a very attractive actress.
Yeah.
And it's a very attractive character, and I'm down to be.
I have like a weird crush on Rose the Hat. No,
it's not weird at all. I murder me. Anyways.
Oh, and then she like kills beloved child.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That was traumatic.
That's like really horrifying.
They kill American sweetheart Jacob Tremblay.
Yeah.
Who do that to Jacob
Star
Tremblay?
of the hit film The Predator.
Yeah. And...
but that scene is like genuinely like unsettling. That's hard to watch. Mm-hmm. And I did not know that going in, so I was like, oh fuck, like we're going here.
Yeah.
And it's also like weird. Like it's a really weird movie. Mm-hmm. Like there's an astral plane sequence where I was just like, oh fuck, like because I did not read Dr. Sleep.
I didn't either.
So I was just like, we're buckle up, I guess.
Yeah.
I love Dr. Sleep. What else? What else we got, Gene? What else is
3 from Hell?
I did not get a chance to watch it before this recording. What do you like about 3 from Hell?
Well, I don't know. It had a lot more substance, I guess, than usual. Excuse me, not the usual. The last Rob Zombie movie, like 13, what was that called?
31.
31, yeah. It wasn't that great. There wasn't much story, but yeah, like what are they called? The family again?
The Fireflies.
The Fireflies, yeah. Like it's interesting what they did with them, and then it has a last good performance, I guess, of Sid Haig.
Oh yeah, Sid Haig.
Yeah, and it was it was a lot more than expected from the last couple zombie movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think very underrated filmmaker because even if you don't like his films, I think he still has like a stamp, and that's cool. We
should have got Rob Zombie for Doctor Strange. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. I'm so glad Sam Raimi's directing it.
I guess so. Yeah, we're not really a news place, but like I think it's kind of big for us because we're such big Raimi fans and obviously Spider-Man fans, and like he's doing the other big Ditko.
Yeah, I guess he really likes the Ditko characters.
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't get into like the really libertarian Ditko characters, we're fine. Like Mr. A, objectivist, he loves Ayn Rand.
I'm really excited because if this pans out, like he will be coming on to a project that's shooting in 3 months.
Yeah.
And so he'll basically have like minimal story input, but I imagine because Kevin Feige and him worked together on the Raimi trilogy too.
Yeah. Kevin Feige was like,
they're like they worked fine together. Yeah. They didn't butt heads on Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, him and Danny Elfman though.
Oh yeah, but like
he was married to that temp music. He took it to a shotgun ceremony.
But I think that if this works out like a best case scenario, Sam Raimi can get like really weird, like just like with the camera alone.
Right. Yeah.
He's one of those filmmakers that makes you excited about movies.
Right. Like
just the way he shoots them. Yeah. Oh my God, the Dr. Octopus scene in Spider-Man 2.
When he's on the surgery, all the doctors and they're doing the Evil Dead angles, great.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, it's great because I mean. And, who knows, maybe we'll never see a Sam Raimi film, but again, after this, because, he's just really, he's producer and all that, but it's good to see another movie from him.
It's been too long.
I don't want him go out in Oz the Great and the Powerful.
People have gone out in worse films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like Oz the Great and the Powerful?
I think it's okay until they do the thing with the witches at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of imaginative like fantasy stuff in it.
Yeah.
But it's not like, he did Drag Me to Hell before that, and Drag Me to Hell is fucking terrific.
It's the best like high school movie we saw in high school.
Honestly, maybe.
Yeah. So after school, walk to the AMC Monomo.
Yeah, that was
when it was like a shithole.
That was a fuck ton of fun.
Remember, like, it used to be, like, I'm sorry, going off tangent. Remember, like, it was, like, such a shitty movie theater.
Yeah,
Can't
no.
see Montebello. I had, like, gum in every single seat.
Yeah.
Then
You can, like, sit comfortably.
It was just, like, should have been, like, quarantined, and then they, like, renovated it. And now it's totally nice. Go to the AMC Montebello.
Someone else on Twitter said, for the most underrated films, who is this well-liked by all, especially Weibo? Can't imagine who that is. The Dead Don't Die. No, Matt.
I really disagree with that. I'm sorry. I did not like that movie. Tom Waits couldn't save it.
At Movie KL said Greener Grass, which I have not seen. For me, another one, and this is one I know that really went under the radar because, well, it's not in English. Long Day's Journey into Night. It's originally from 2018. It even played at the Cannes Film Festival, but it's a film by Baigan. And I'll just read the synopsis because it'll make it easier for me. Yes. The film chronicles the return of Luo Honggu to Kaili, the hometown from which he fled many years before, back for his father's funeral. Luo recalls the death of an old friend, Wildcat, and searches for lost love, Wan Quen, who continues to haunt him. Wan Quen is played by Tang Wei from Black Cat, so Michael Mann fans, you're in for a treat. And there's like, I forget, it's like half an hour to like an hour single long shot that closes out the film.
Yeah.
And it's very stylistically interesting. It was a huge hit in China, and then over here where people are like, what?
Yeah,
you know?
Strange.
Yeah, very strange. Very atmospheric film, very moving, and just technically, like we're talking about 1917 earlier, just very impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
Big fan of it.
I agree.
Let's see, other stuff, we can kind of start wrapping up now. We can kind of like shotgun blast a couple names out there. What else you got? Honey Boy is fucking terrific.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a tough watch.
Yeah, very, very moving. Alma Harrell's not feature debut, or I guess fiction debut.
Yeah,
fiction debut. Excuse me. She was started as a documentary filmmaker, and I think it was not Noah Jupe who plays the older Shia.
It was
Lucas Hedges. Lucas Hedges said that she is the most like empathetic filmmaker he's ever worked with.
Mm.
So I'm really excited to see whatever she does next. What a breakthrough film for everyone involved.
I'm so mad that it didn't get nominated.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Greta Gerwig and Alma Harrell deserve to be in the best director category. Yeah. Fantastic direction. Yeah, like, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, oh my god, I'm just gonna get so mad. Anyways, Dolomite is my name.
Great, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
come back.
It's on Netflix. Watch it whenever you can. It's a total crowd pleaser. You'll feel better about movies, art, the world watching it. Just a great feel-good film about like the trials and tribulations of filmmaking from being seen on screen. Really, really touching stuff. Last Black Man in San Francisco. Yeah. Maybe the most beautifully shot film of the year.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it was phenomenal for such a lower budget film. Like, can't believe they got all that.
Yeah, it's just outstanding. It really shows what you can do, like, when you have, like, a vision and a great creative team to help, like, bring it all to life together. Really, really just beautiful film and all around that everyone should check out. You brought this up before, Gene. Ready or Not.
Yeah, I love Ready or Not.
Take it home. Let this be the last one we talk about.
Yeah, it's a great film about fuck the rich, eat them, or just like they just all the rich people just get like killed by the devil.
I guess spoilers for all these movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a great horror film. It's really plays with this premise really well. I love Samara Weaving.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, she was she's great, and then she's like in G.I. Joe. She's Scarlet. I don't know. No one likes. I keep telling people like, oh, they're gonna do a Snake Eyes movie, and no one's like, oh yeah. But like, I don't know. I like G.I. Joe.
I don't care.
Like it's like the cooler Transformers.
No, I don't care about any of them though. That's my problem. Right. So that's a me thing. It's not.
Okay.
It's not you. It's me.
Oh, you're gonna say it's like military, or like
well, it is. That's why.
Yes. So.
Transformers and G.I. Joe are just propaganda.
Just like them as toys. No. They were great toys.
There's nothing wrong with enjoying them. I'm just saying I like Michael Bay stuff, and his stuff is like ardently pro-military propaganda. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, Ready or Not, great.
Yeah.
Go watch it now. It's on Redbox or something.
Yeah, shot for like $5 million, $6 million budget. Yeah. Looks amazing. A lot of natural candlelight stuff in this big mansion that looks like this is gonna be a pull. So bear with me. It looks like fucking Barry Lyndon. Yeah. Honestly, like that's the same aesthetic, but like in a pulpy genre movie. Samara Weaving, totally kills it, and that's that's the show for today. Gene, thanks so much for joining me on this very special February episode where we talked about underrated movies of 2019 and Birds of Prey, which again we do recommend. So where can you recommend that people find you?
Gene9892 on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me at twitter.com/TheDiegoCrespo. Check out The Waffle Press on YouTube, SoundCloud, Patreon, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. I think I said that twice already, but that's okay. We're wrapping up here. That was the last year in movies, and now we're moving into the exciting new future of retrospectives for Happy Amblin, Spielberg, Sandler, West Side Story at the end of the year. We have been professionally unprofessional.